Hello and welcome to the Life Dyslexic audio stories. These stories have been inspired by classic vintage 1930s and 40s sci-fi posters. This is the poster that has inspired today's story. New Pompeii. The Martian human adjusted the frequency of his transmitter before stopping to check his countdown chronometer. It was too late to leave. It had been too late to leave for some time now. Vincent Vesuvius took one long last look out over the city. New Pompeii was burning. Thick, black obsidian smoke smothered the sky. On the horizon he could just make out orange rivers of lava cascading down sheer cliffs like boiling water over Niagara Falls. Vincent sighed. He wasn't sure if his broadcast would cut through the arid atmosphere, but he had to give his testimonial, if only to take his mind off the cannonball-sized pumice stones that were raining down. He sat back down, opened his electronic journal, and began to recount the actions, or lack of, that had led to his city's current predicament. For the seasoned exoplanet geologist, it had all started a year ago, when he had taken his findings to the president's office. He had been late. The teleportation network was down again, and the hypertram system needed investment. The president was also delayed. Apparently, working out in the anti-gravity gym was more important than a meeting about the planet's future. The hexagon-shaped office had mottled bronze and marmalade carpet, an imitation of Mars's true surface. It had been many centuries since the red planet was Earth's crimson cousin. Now it was its terraformed twin. In the centre of the room was a hermetically sealed glass panel inserted into the floor, preserving humanity's first footfall on another planet. The president strode into the room with all the grace and stature of a person who was expecting to find it unoccupied. Vincent fumbled his pad to get his presentation working. That the temperature of Olympus Mons has increased, Vincent said at speed, as the accompanying graphics flickered to life. Olympus Mons was Mars's largest volcano. Standing a colossal 14 miles high, it dwarfed even Earth's tallest mountains. The slumbering beast had lain dormant for millennia. Now it appeared it was waking. That's impossible! It's inert! It's been inert forever! Magma is rising. We should start making plans. I don't want this to become a problem. Bring me answers. Bring me solutions. Vincent was about to continue with his findings when the meeting ended abruptly as a deep rumble shook the office. It subsided quickly, and the president wrote it off as nothing and left for our next appointment. For months, Vincent searched for possible solutions. Research into Martian volcanology had fallen silent over recent decades, as geologists like himself had become more preoccupied with the mineral makeup of strange new worlds. The geologist's attitude was just an extension of a wider issue. Humans had grown more concerned with what was over the next horizon, and were spending less and less time in their own backyard. Luckily, the subject of Olympus Mons had been given greater attention. When the foundations of the colony had been dug, deep underground, Vincent discovered the ruins of an old volcano defense system. The network of tubes and tunnels drilled deep into the volcano and were designed to siphon out the magma chamber at regular intervals. The system had fallen into disrepair, as successive governments had failed to have the foresight to maintain it. The pumps and pipe machinery might have been dated, but with modern engineering techniques, Vincent suspected fixing it would be a simple task. He consulted a number of contractors, but none saw the need to take on the challenge. So once more he took his findings to the highest office. It was some time before Vincent could get another audience with the president, only to find his solution was greeted with apathy instead of urgency. "We have the technology, but we must act now to save our planet." His anger was bubbling to the surface. "We can save all we have achieved here." Since humanity had taken up permanent residence on Mars, the small colony had grown rapidly from a handful of pods and a dozen people to a mega city, which now rivaled any on the home planet. The humans were proud of their achievements, but they had grown complacent, for although Mars was now easier to traverse, no other city, settlement, or colony had been built. It had been discussed, meetings had been held, and committees had been convened, but nothing had progressed beyond the hypothetical. "There is no need to panic," came the president's rebuttal. "It could be centuries before it becomes a threat." "We built our capital in the shadow of a volcano, and we had the hubris to call it New Pompeii," snapped Vincent. "What did we think was going to happen?" Ripples of rage swept over him as he finished recalling that meeting. He tried to take deep breaths and regain his composure, but with little effect. "Even after all this time," he spat, "human arrogance still throws caution to the wind." There was a sharp beeping noise coming from his communication beacon. The power cell warning light was flashing. Vincent did not have time to search for a replacement, nor did he have time to change it. He had to continue with his broadcast to the cosmos, and just hope he could reach the end before the end reached him. Deep cracks of thunder drowned out the cries of the city's trapped inhabitants as clouds of burning ash rushed down upon them. The hypertrams were in no condition for a full-scale evacuation, and shuttles had stopped flying after the first plumes of smoke had appeared. Traffic to Mars may have been efficient, but it was not as frequent as it used to be. Ships were needed elsewhere, Earth had said, and Mars's fleet of antique vessels had been mothballed half a decade ago, pending as yet unarrived replacements. The dense ash cloud had expanded so rapidly that escape from New Pompeii had become almost instantly impossible. The noise of his impending doom was cutting through to his bones. Time was running out. Earth would not be coming. They burned that bridge a long time ago, and no one had been prepared to put in the effort to rebuild it. As the eruption finally engulfed his apartment, Vincent broadcast the final lines of his journal. "Let this be a warning to history. Our inactions have condemned us all."